Welcome to the breakdown. We're going to break it down today.
Time to take a chance to fly, feeling like I'm 10 feet high. Nightmares call, you can't deny. Better find a place to hide. Here to tell you what I know. No one wants to be alone. Like a virus in your soul. Don't give up and take time to take a chance to fly. Feeling like I'm 10 feet high. Nightmares call, you can't deny. Better find a place to hide.
Check out these deals of the week at Walgreens.
What the hell, man? Come on. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I gotta get premium. I gotta get premium. Just after this show, I'm getting premium. All right.
Yeah. Money make the world go round. I'm trying to get it done right now.
Welcome to the breakdown. Episode 484. Sponsored by Gemini. Powered by G Media. And today, I'm a loose cannon. After watching that fuckery of a debate, we're going to talk about it. We are going to talk about it. We will speak about it.
I'm steady focused on money now. I'm trying to count to 100 down. That's daily. Gravy pay me. M&M's, no Slim Shady. Make a count going so crazy. Still live it up when I'm over 80. Flying, I'm hotter than Hades. Middle fingers up to the walls when I hate me. Come with my pride and I'm up like a drought. Everybody lying for a little bit of clout. Stay making moves like I'm trying to sell a house. That's how it be when you're raised in the South. Mama always said that this money be the death of me. Money can't buy you happy, but I never seen a sad man riding a jet ski. Time will tell me to break that speed. First it was hate, now they dropped my steed. Took small sips, now they drinks on me. Commas in the bank, that's all I need. Business first and chill after. Set to cruise, but not the actor. Work hard, let the money stack up while y'all broke like a stress fresh. My God.
All right, welcome to the breakdown. Welcome to the breakdown. Give me 1 second. This is serious. I like to be sarcastic. I love to be sarcastic, but yesterday, what I witnessed yesterday was horrific. I watched the debate yesterday. I was going to live stream it and commentate on it, but I actually wanted to watch the debate. I should have, I should have live streamed it. I should have live streamed it and, brought on people to go ahead and talk about it. Oh my God. Fucking allergies are killing me. Okay. What I witnessed yesterday was a complete shit show. Complete shit show on ABC's part. I don't know how many times I've said this. Mainstream media is not to be trusted. Main Street media. What the fuck is going on, bro? I'm so angry today, bro. Hold on, let me cool off. Give me a second to cool off. What ABC did last night was horrific. That was not a debate. That was not a fair debate at all. I remember watching presidential debates where it was fair for both sides. Democrat, Republican, didn't matter. It was fair, and I hate to use the word honest, but it was more honest than what we saw yesterday. I remember a time where it was fair, where both candidates could express themselves. Yesterday, I witnessed ABC, a company that is owned by Disney, and we know where Disney stands. I witnessed ABC tag team with Kamala Harris to try to destroy Donald J. Trump in front of the entire nation and in front of the entire world. That's what I witnessed yesterday. What I say right now will have Democrats rolling their eyes because they are so into their party and they can care less about this country that nothing that I can say here today will prove them wrong. And that's fine. Whatever. I'm focused on the person on the fence right now. The person that's on the fence trying to figure out who they should vote for. Yesterday was an embarrassment. A complete and utter embarrassment. To disrespect the American people the way that ABC did, they should be ashamed of themselves. And no presidential candidate from either side should ever participate on that channel in any sort of debate. They fact checked or attempted to fact check Donald J. Trump, the former president of the United States of America, every single fucking time. Every single time this man answered a question, he was fact checked. Every single time Kamala Harris answered a question and there needed to be a fact check, none were taking place. Zero. Nothing. They even helped her. They helped her throughout the entire debate. When asked about her stance on the border, she went into a total different direction. She started talking about that she was raised in a middle-class family. That has nothing to do with the border. That has nothing to do with 15 million illegal immigrants crossing the border. It had absolutely nothing to do with the question that was asked. Here's the thing that I wrote down while I was watching this fuckery take place. Biden, here's a note that I wrote down. Biden did so bad during the first debate. And by the way, they made CNN right now during this presidential election campaign has done and we know where CNN stands. They're a leftist company. They are for the liberals. They did a much better job moderating the debate between Trump versus Biden than ABC did. Anybody can see that. Anybody can see that. ABC did not press her. ABC allowed her to go into rants. She started off hella nervous. 15 minutes, she's shaking like this. Shaking. Her tongue's dry. You can see it. You can see that she's not comfortable. Not comfortable. She only looked good because Biden did so bad. I want everybody to think about that because I haven't tweeted about that yet. She only looked good yesterday because Biden did so bad. He did a horrific job during his debate. So now you have somebody who was put into that position, not voted in by the people, but put into that position to run for the Oval Office, where no Democrat, no independent, nobody had a chance to go ahead and pick her as the candidate. So her standing on stage alone and being somewhat coherent and knowing where she was, it was much better than having Biden, who had no clue why he was put on stage in the first place. And I don't say that to make fun of Biden. You already know how I feel about Biden. I think it has been a horrific display by the Democrats to push that man for almost 4 years, knowing that he is suffering with health problems that we all saw when he came on to that debate stage with Trump. So let's not even talk about that. We know what happened there, right? The entire night, the entire night, Harris said nothing. She said absolutely nothing that inspired me, that lifted me up. You know, it's funny. She kept on saying that Donald Trump is into name calling. Yet she was doing a lot of name calling yesterday. One moment during the debate, she's saying, Donald Trump, you just resort to name calling. And then she starts name calling. Literally at the same time. Akil Patterson, the big unk over here, doesn't understand that Poly Market is an international gambling platform, polling platform, international, not a domestic polling platform. Just want to give you facts since you don't like facts. No Democrat likes facts. You guys love socialism, and facts don't exist in a socialistic environment. But moving on, because I have to focus on what happened yesterday with the fuckery. Nothing is what she said. You got a bunch of nothing. Was she calm? Was she composed halfway through? Yeah, she was. She was calm and composed for about 25 minutes out of the entire debate. But you can even see in her laugh, that she was hurting because she has nothing to stand on. She tried to move away from Joe Biden. You know, Donald Trump should have started off the debate using his ending. You are currently in office. You are talking about all these wonderful things. Why haven't you done any of them? Why haven't you done anything for America in the last 3.5 years? You have done nothing to make this country better. This country is far worse off with both Biden and Harris in office. Under this administration, this has been the worst administration, at least in my lifetime. They make Jimmy Carter look like one of the greatest presidents to ever hold the Oval Office. Yesterday was a complete shit show. And I love Donald Trump. I love Donald Trump because he is a New Yorker. And when we're jumped, when we're attacked, we smack back. But yesterday, I just wish the only thing that was running through my mind yesterday, because Donald Trump made a lot of great points, but he missed on a few things. Because while ABC came out the winner, not Harris, not Trump, it was ABC and the moderators that were the actual winners. Donald Trump had many opportunities to fact check their asses, to lay it, to smack it down on their asses, and he didn't, because 3 of them jumped him and he decided to throw hands. That's the problem. He decided to throw hands with them when he didn't need to. He should have just held his composure like he did during the first debate, which had real moderators from CNN, not a channel that I watch, but I can say that CNN did a great job. But he should have, no matter what, no matter how much they were prying to get him out of his skin, he should have held. But he started throwing punches. But he also had some great hits. Was it his best performance? No. Did she perform? I don't even think she was a part of the debate. She wasn't even, I don't even care about what she said because she said nothing. She's gone back and forth on every single issue. She wants to take people's Second Amendment, make no doubt about this. The Second Amendment, she wants that gone. And she's clearly stated that on tape. This is not me making anything up. Rewind the tapes. Rewind the tapes and just listen to her speak. I'm going back and forth here today because from one sense also, people were saying, well, Donald Trump was so animated. Good. I want the future president to care about this country. Because currently, we have Kamala Harris who's laughing and Joe Biden who's sleeping. I want somebody to care. Somebody to express some sort of fucking passion and have a pulse. And that's what he had yesterday. The Democrats weaponized the system, the legal system against him. He should have done better on that. He should have said, when the topic was brought up about election interference, well, motherfuckers, what do you think you did to Donald Trump? You have literally interfered with the election because of your hatred for a man who you cannot control, who cannot be controlled. And that is the problem. The former president of the United States of America, who did a great job in the time he was in office, who made our economy great, who gave us respect. We got back the respect that we deserved. Was treated and has been treated with such disrespect that I've never seen in my life. 16 years. 16 years. Out of the 16 years, 4 years, the Oval Office has been run by a Republican, and that is Donald J. Trump. 14 years have been run by the Obama mafia. The Obama mafia has run this country for 14 Take that back. 12 years. 12 years. They've ruined this country. They have ruined this country. And you can even see it in the politics now. By the way, when the debate ended, who is still standing? Who is still standing there answering questions? Donald J. Trump. Who wants another debate? Kamala Harris. You know why? Because they know they didn't win. They know they did nothing yesterday. If by winning, it means that you just have to show up to a presidential debate and say nothing, that is not a win. And if that is a win, we have set low standards in this country. Hella low standards in this country. Again, 16 years, 12 years have been run by Democrats, and they have run this country into the ground, especially in the last 4 years under the Biden administration. Period. The Biden administration has done nothing for the American people and has done more for the people that are outside of this country. Ukraine, putting in these or participating in these proxy wars. That's what they have done. This soft ass country, let me tell you something about this soft ass country. The only reason why the Democrats or Harris is even in the papers today is because for the last 16 years, the Democrats have done an amazing job turning this current society, and the United States of America especially, into a soft ass country. A complete and utter joke. I sat back and I was talking to friends as I'm watching this debate go on. And we all said that some people will actually believe the bullshit that is coming out of her mouth. The utter nonsense that was coming out of Harris's mouth yesterday. For some of us, we can clearly see it, whether you're a Democrat or a Republican. For others that are still stuck inside this matrix, that still are stuck in this centralized world, they will believe this horseshit. If she wanted change, she could do it right now. Donald Trump was right on that. If she wanted to make something happen, she could do it right now. Biden could do it. She can do it. But we're going to wait until she's elected president to have these things done. Now she's into fracking. Only now she's into fracking. Where there's tapes of her specifically saying she's not with it. Why didn't we touch on the immigration issue? She wants to legalize illegal immigrants. Why are we not talking about that? Why are we letting it slide? Main Street Media is owned by BlackRock and Fidelity. And yesterday, wow, was that not a showcase of their fucking power? ABC should be fucking embarrassed. And the moderators, you should be completely and utterly embarrassed with the way you went about moderating that entire debate. You did not give the people a chance to pick a candidate. Whether you like Trump, whether you like Harris, whether you're in the middle, you did not do your job. You and Harris, 3-on-1, literally it was a 3-on-1 against Donald J. Trump. And there is nothing that anybody can say to me that can prove otherwise. It was a complete and utter shit show. Horrible. Terrible. Terrible. Welcome to the breakdown. Episode 484, sponsored by Gemini. Sign up to Gemini, ladies and gentlemen. Get $100 in Bitcoin. Trade $1,000 in crypto. Get $100 in Bitcoin. Easy. Like, it's nothing to even think about. Powered by G Media. My views, by the way, do not reflect those of G Media. Just want to put that out there. And disclaimer, nothing here said today is financial advice, investment advice. If you need investment advice, seek out a finance professional to see if investing is right for you. Mainstream media is a fucking joke. Mainstream media is a joke. MSM is a complete and utter joke after last night. Again, there were times where Trump did perform well, and there were times where he got emotional because he was being attacked. And he has to know better. But on the same token, this is why a lot of people love Trump, because he's not scared to hit back. He's not scared to hit back. I was blown away, though, that Harris was not fact-checked at all. There were so many lies that she went ahead and put out there on the table that I was blown away that nobody fact-checked. That Donald Trump had a fact-check. Crazy. It was a complete shit show. I will say this. I love Trump. He's not a politician. He's a businessman. He tells you how it is. He's not scared to say what's on his mind. And I respect the fuck out of somebody who is willing to tell you how it is. But I remember a time where presidents would come and debate with each other. I'll even say that Trump versus Hillary wasn't that bad. And by the way, let me hit you with this. Hillary, whether you like her or not, is 50 times smarter than Kamala Harris, whatever her name is. Hillary will run circles around Harris. So for anybody, and listen closely, for anybody to ever say that Harris handed Trump his ass, you are so deep into your party and into your hatred for Donald Trump that the shit in your eyes does not allow you to see the truth. If Hillary Clinton couldn't hand Trump his ass, there is no way Kamala remotely came close. The ABC moderators are the real winners in this fuckery of a debate. The stuff they were saying, I was blown away. Why are you bringing up J6? Why would you bring up J6? If you're going to bring up J6, why don't you bring up Kamala Harris's history? If we're going to bring up history now, let's bring up everybody's history. I didn't see them bringing up any of her shit. How many fucking innocent people she's incarcerated. when she got destroyed during the primaries. The first one to go, she got destroyed based on her record. But ABC moderators and ABC didn't bring that up. Absolutely not. They didn't press her on the border. They asked the question about the border. She went into talking about she comes from a middle-class family. What the fuck is happening? A question is asked about the goddamn border. She's telling me how she grew up. I don't give a fuck how you grew up. Tell me, why have you allowed over 15 million illegal immigrants into this country? Why haven't you shut down the borders? That's what I wanted to hear. You wanted to win me over? You should have said, you know what? Tomorrow, I'm going down to Congress and we are shutting down the borders and we're going to hire more. We're going to get more border patrol down there to make sure nobody crosses over here. Instead, they are working out ways to legalize these illegal immigrants so they can vote in November. That is what's happening. That, ladies and gentlemen, is what's happening. Is that yesterday, they knew Donald Trump was coming for that neck. They knew that Kamala Harris cannot compete with Trump. Cannot. So it was a 3-on-1. This is some shit that I would see in wrestling. This is some shit that you would tune in and see on WWE. This was a complete and utter disservice to the American people. And by the way, who the fuck is Taylor Swift? Who? Like I give a shit about her opinion? This is the same person that's telling you to get vaccinated? Her and Travis Kelce? Two people that have been bought by Pfizer to go ahead and tell you to get a vaccination? These are the people that I'm supposed to listen to? Oh yeah, great. She makes music and she can hardly dance, and she's dating the tight end of the one of the greatest tight ends that's ever played the game, no doubt about it. But the man who's paid off by Pfizer, I'm going to vote for Harris right now because I love socialism. You know, Europeans understand what they saw yesterday. There's a reason why Putin wants Harris to win. And Trump is exactly right. Because under Trump, we would not have the fuckery that we see. They would not fuck with the United States of America. China would know their place. Russia would know their place. North Korea would know their place. Everybody would know their goddamn place. But being that Biden is sleeping half the time, and now you have Harris, of course Putin wants Harris. Because Putin can continue doing what he needs to do. You know, something Trump did bring up that made sense no matter what side you're on. You think Putin isn't crazy. Putin has nuclear motherfucking weapons at his disposal. Russia is well armed. Russia has submarines 200 miles away from the coast of Florida. And we have done nothing. We have done absolutely nothing to scare these son of a bitches back to their countries. We have China flying balloons into our goddamn airspace. This is why I'm upset with Trump a bit, because he had things that he could say that can literally, he could have put all three of them in their places. Under Biden's administration, we got balloons, spy balloons from China flying all over the United States of America. We got submarines with nuclear capabilities 200 miles away from the coast of Florida. Why do you think Putin wants Harris or a Democrat in office? They know. They know what they can do. They know they would have a field day. He's not rooting for Harris because he likes her. And NATO, Harris's remarks about NATO liking her more than Trump is a complete bullshit. She doesn't even meet people. The Prime Minister of Israel came to the United States of America. She did not meet with him at all. Up until the end. She went, like Trump said, she had other things to do, like dancing at a sorority. While Trump and other leaders consistently reach out to Donald J. Trump. Welcome to the breakdown. Episode 484. Hold on one second. I just need to do something real quick. Forgot to do this. Ooh. Let me... We have a guest coming on today. And we will talk about crypto because I want to touch on crypto, want to talk about the market as well. And then we'll get back into this. We'll get back into what yesterday was a complete and utter fucking shit show. Mainstream media cannot be trusted. Not be trusted at all. Can't be trusted. It's sad. This is how programmed it is. This is how the narratives work. BlackRock, disappointed in you, man. But not unexpected. We know who runs the networks. BlackRock and Fidelity own 56% of all MSN. So it's not surprising. It really isn't surprising. Because with Trump in office, that means that everybody, including everybody in crypto, which to me, it doesn't make sense. It makes no sense how a lot of you guys are out here rooting for Harris to win when you're in crypto and you're essentially, a lot of you guys are just one issue voters. You guys don't dive deep into politics at all. At all. So you're one issue voters. And some of you guys are rooting for Harris, rooting for an administration that has done nothing but fucking bottleneck crypto for the last 3.5 years. For you to literally root on 4 more years of Harris and have the same shit go on, you guys are mentally insane. And I don't believe that you guys are really into crypto. And I honestly now believe that you guys are some sort of plants that were put in here, some sort of bots paid off to come in here and talk the way you talk. Because there is nobody, and I mean absolutely nobody, who respects crypto that is out here advocating for Harris. Harris has no stance on anything, and especially on crypto. And here you have people within our own space rooting on Harris. Are you kidding me? There is no way that you can tell me that you're not paid off. You are 100% a plant. Or you own zero crypto. It's either or maybe both. I wanted to tweet something today. I wanted to actually tweet something last night, and I saved it in my drafts. And you know what I said? Today's the day that I might be canceled. Today is finally the show that probably would get me canceled the way that I felt last night. The way I felt last night is I watched an ambush take place. I watched our political system being manipulated. And people that are on the fence not being allowed to see an honest debate. That's what I saw yesterday. But I would encourage people to go based on track record. 4 years of Trump, we were very successful. Our economy was thriving. And unfortunately, Trump, during the end of his presidency, got hit with a pandemic, which, whether Democrat or Republican, they would have went through the same exact thing. They would have had to figure out a way to stabilize the economy and to make things right and to protect the American citizens. Regardless of being a Democrat or Republican. But before the pandemic, the economy was thriving. Trump said something that was good as well, which was the rebound that we've had in terms of jobs came from him and his administration and the things that he's laid out. Because after the pandemic ended, it were the bounce back jobs came from the Trump administration and not from the current Biden administration, which has printed money like crazy. See, the thing is, they want you to depend on them. That's the problem. Democrats want you to depend on them. Republicans want you to seize your opportunity as an American and be involved in the system. That's the difference. That is the difference. Universal health care is the worst thing that you can possibly have. It is expensive, and you got to wait years before you can go ahead and finally get that surgery. Go ask Canada and go ask some other countries how universal health care works. Go ahead, ask them. It completely sucks. I'm fired up today because I love my country. I love the United States of America. I bleed red, white, and blue. This is passion. This is not anger. So don't get it confused. You don't play around with people's lives. You don't play around with the citizens of the United States of America. We are not puppets. We are real people looking for a real chance and a real opportunity to succeed in this country. You do not play around with us for your own gains or for the elites. And that's why I respect the shit out of Trump. And that's why I respect the shit out of RFK. And I respect anyone who puts America first. America first. And for the people in crypto, you have some thinking to do. You got some shit that you got some real thinking to do, man. Because if you're voting for Harris, you shouldn't be in crypto. Honestly, I don't know. I don't even. That's an oxymoron. It doesn't even make sense. It doesn't even make sense. I can't. I don't even know how that makes sense. Welcome to the breakdown, sponsored by Gemini, powered by G Media. This is episode 484. Yes, I'm passionate about this subject. Yes, absolutely. Yes, I ran for office in 2020. Yes, I believe that America is the greatest country in the world. Yes, I know that we have our differences. 100%, I know we have our differences. There are subjects that are super touchy. But the founding fathers said this, that a two-party system would hurt the United States of America. And that's what you currently have. You have a two-party system, and we are only given two people to choose from. That's it. Voting for an independent, a Green Party guy, it doesn't work. It does nothing. And when the United States of America is in shambles, when the United States of America isn't working on all cylinders, the rest of the world isn't either. And then you have the evildoers, the real dictators that take advantage of the United States of America. Iran had no money. Now they have money. And now they have weapons. And now they take their money and they feed it into terroristic organizations. When America is destabilized, so is the entire world. When we don't have an acting leader, it hurts. When is the last time we've seen Joe Biden? Since Joe Biden's last time speaking to the American people from the Oval Office, we have not seen him. He has not been active. He has been actively sitting at the beach getting a tan. Guys, do you care about this country or do you care about the party? Which one is it? Do we care about the country or do we care about the party? Because if you care about your party, then the United States of America is fucked. If you care about this country, you know what the right decision is. You know what we need to do. And that is vote in somebody who actually gives a shit and that is not owned by any of the elites that are hiding behind the curtains. You know, slowly but surely, they'll take away the Second Amendment, which will lead to taking away the First Amendment. And you guys might think that's a joke, but that could happen. Do not think for 1 second that that can't happen. It could happen. I'm cooling down. Welcome to the breakdown. Episode 484, sponsored by Gemini, powered by G Media. My name is David Gokhshtein. I am the founder of Gokhshtein Media. And my views are my views. They are not the views of Gokhshtein Media. They're not. Because we have a lot of people that work here that share different views than mine. And that's fine. And that's okay. That's why freedom of speech is important. Because you can have conversations and talk about these very delicate subjects. I don't like to belittle anybody. I don't. While I see a lot of people belittle Biden, I might goof around, but ultimately I feel for him. I hope that once, he goes off to, riding on that horse into the sunset, that he can still have some sort of normal life where he is able to spend the rest of his days with his family and understand where he's at. 100%, no doubt about it. I don't want to see anything happen to anybody. Nothing bad happened to Kamala Harrison, and nothing bad happened to obviously Donald J. Trump. Trump did say something that hit. They have weaponized the media and the legal system against him to the point where their words led to his almost led to an assassination on his life. That's right. The more and more you put out this rhetoric that he's a dictator, that he's the next coming of Hitler and all this stuff, you have some person sitting in their house and they're thinking, okay, this guy is going to tear down America. The way that ABC and Harris were going at it yesterday, all three of them against Trump, this type of rhetoric leads somebody who's mentally ill to seek vengeance against Trump for no reason. Somebody who's not mentally well is sitting and listening to this shit and saying, you know what? I need to be the hero and I need to stop Trump. Words have meaning to them. When Donald Trump was almost assassinated in PA, for a day or two, the Democrats, Biden, or everybody came out and said, hey, we can't, this is not it. This is not. And then weeks later, they're back on it. They're back pushing this rhetoric. Dictator, Hitler, the next Hitler, all this stuff. Essentially, you're encouraging violence. Without saying anything, you're encouraging violence. And why in the world was Donald J. Trump debating with ABC moderators? If you think that I'm talking out of my ass, why was Donald J. Trump debating with the ABC moderators? He's supposed to be debating with Kamala Harris. They're debating with him. They weren't trying to debate with Kamala. No, the entire time they were trying to debate with him. It's crazy. It's and this is where it's kind of like sports, right? You have your favorite team. And Essentially, if somebody says, well, if somebody says anything bad about your favorite team, your response is going to be to defend your team. And that's what's happening here. It's like the team is the United States of America. It's the land. It's not the parties. We need to do what's best for the land. You guys are trying to defend your party. You're not seeing what's happening. You're absolutely not seeing what the hell is happening. Frustrating. I got to tell you this. Frustrating to watch. Frustrating to watch our country in its current state. I got to tell you, it is the most horrific thing to watch right now. It is. We have no president, which is active because we don't see him, and that's the truth. I don't give a fuck if you're a Democrat, Republican, Independent, Green Party, Purple Party. We don't have a president who's active right now. It's unfortunate, but we don't, okay? We don't have a president. Like, you imagine this? We're the United States of America, and we don't have an active president. Second in command is Kamala Harris, and I don't understand any of her policies because she doesn't have any. Why didn't they fact check her when she mentioned Project 2025? No fact checking was done. I'm telling you, it's so irritating to watch. My family escaped from communism. My family escaped from socialism. Like, I don't understand. They didn't have me here. Okay? My parents didn't escape a country to come here than to have me here in order for me to participate in something they escaped from. Immigrants all over the place. Immigrants all over the place taking over housing complexes. This is crazy. Committing crimes. Undocumented. We don't know what the fuck is happening. We absolutely don't know what is happening out here. And then I laugh at it. I laugh at it. Taylor Swift? Who cares about who gives a fuck about her and her music? I don't listen to none of that shit. Taylor Swift chiming in. I can't believe people still listen to that shit. People still listen to Taylor Swift. This is crazy, man. You learn something new every day, man. You're gonna vote based on what Taylor Swift went ahead and said. Crazy. Can't form your own opinion? You need a pop star to go ahead and tell you who to vote for? Well, who are we talking about? Why am I even... Like I said again, two people that advocate for the COVID shot, bro. COVID vaccine. You got her boyfriend, Travis Kelce, out here promoting for Pfizer and shit. Get your booster shot. Holy fuck. What is going on? It's crazy, man. I am just, today I'm on, like, it's like rip the Band-Aid off and fuck it. It's one of those days, man. It's one of those days. I wanted to play some of I actually wanted to play some of her clips, but I can't stand like listening to her. Cuz she doesn't say anything. I can y'all hear me out for a second? Cuz I know you guys, some of you guys don't see what's being said on X and on YouTube, on LinkedIn, on Rumble. Like, listen to me. I am, even though you might feel that I am a full-blown Republican and that I would never be able to vote for a Democrat, that is not true. It is definitely not true. I vote for the best people that can do the goddamn job. That's it. If you can do the job, if you're a Democrat, independent, or Republican, I'll vote for you. As long as you are sincere and that you can do the goddamn job. You can't tell me while looking straight in my face, you cannot tell me that Kamala Harris said anything of substance yesterday. She has flip-flopped on all of her positions. All she wants to do is tax the rich, tax everybody who's wealthy, who is rich, tax them all. So save your bullshit. People defend some of this shit is crazy, bro. I gotta tell you. The defense on this shit is crazy, man. You know, people are like, Dave, why are you upset? Why are you upset, David? Why are you upset? Why do you have this passion today? You know why I have this passion today? It's because I care about the United States of America. I love my country. I love my country. That's why I care. That's why I'm animated today. That's why I'm speaking out on this platform and talking about these issues. Because somebody got to do it. And I'm thankful to see other people out there talking about this. And I'm happy to see that there were other people that were on the fence. And even after last night's debate said, you know what? I don't believe her. She had 3.5 years to do this stuff. Why now? It's a very simple question which Trump should have started off with. And this is why I'm a little bit pissed off with Trump. Because Trump should have started off with, you've been in office for 3.5 years. You have the ability to shut down the borders. Why haven't you done it? And let her answer. That's why I'm upset. That's why I'm a little bit taken back. But I can also understand that Trump, like I said earlier in the broadcast, the man was attacked by 3 people. The man's being fact checked. He's not being given an opportunity to express himself. Mike's being muted. Her mic's not muted, so she can answer while he's speaking, to the point where he said, what was his line? Hold on. Trump said, which had me, I was actually laughing when he said this. I'm talking right now. Sounds familiar? I'm talking right now. Sounds familiar? All right, guys. I have Kaz here. Kaz is going to break down the markets. The morning after the debate. What's going on, Kaz? How's everything going, man? Kaz,
Yo, how you doing?
what's
Can you hear
going
me all
on,
right?
man?
I'm all right. Yeah, interesting morning in the markets. So I figured we should talk about it, you know?
Tell me, number one, what did you think of the debate yesterday?
Well, I don't really like to get into politics too much, but I mean, I think in this particular case, I mean, I'll put it this way: I'm not like a Democrat or a Republican. I try to be a super objective thinker. You know what I mean? And I liked what you were saying earlier. Like the team is not Democrat or Republican. It's you know it's the country. We're all here together. I do feel like they try to pit us against one another by using the two party system. I am a firm believer in that. Um, and you know, they'll turn you against your own family if they can. In order, you know, if you've ever, you know, it's divide and conquer. It's a standard tactic, and I feel like they're using that. You know, and they're hiding in plain sight at this point with the you know the Black Rocks and big pharmaceutical. I'll put it this way, I would have voted for RFK if he was still in the running because I really like what he has to say about big pharma and how they're poisoning our food and then selling us medication. Right, they're sickening us and then selling us the medication to theoretically solve the issues that they're creating knowingly. And they're doing this all right in front of our face. The type of, yeah, that stuff with like, what's her name? The singer that you brought up.
Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift. It's like, God, man, like, I feel like it's just like almost embarrassing. So, that's how I felt. And then obviously, you know, mainstream media is owned by the same people. So, I mean, I'll leave it at that. You can use your imagination. With what I think
We
about
know.
what happened. I do like the fact that Trump is bringing on RFK, right? And so I feel like Trump is going to let RFK at least push forward his agenda if Trump is elected. I mean, being a father, I just don't like the fact that my child is, um, you know, exposed to poisons in their food, and you know, it's simple. It's simple numbers. Like we've got health issues in our country that don't exist in other countries, and it all comes back to diet. And then I'm a firm believer. If you know show me the incentive, and I'll show you the result. The incentive is there for pharmaceutical companies to sicken the population. They make big money when they do that, and so the big pharmaceutical companies have slowly but surely taken over the food industry, and you know they're doing it all right in front of our face. It's just super frustrating to see, and then to see people just fully um, ignore these important facts, these situations that could actually be fixed, just because they want to win or something, or so that they can say they're right. It's frustrating to say the least. But anyways, I already went too far. I don't want to talk too much politics. Let's talk charts.
All right. So the day after the debate, tell me, what do you see with the charts today?
All right, so this looks confusing. What I have pulled up, I know.
It
Um,
looks like somebody's EKG scan.
yeah, it's a lot. So what I look at all day, every day, are Nasdaq futures. So what we have here are this is the Nasdaq futures. This is the daily chart. Um, excuse me, my computer's tripping out. I'm coming at you from the home office. Here, let me do this too. All right. So here, let me go ahead and just make this one big. Is that a little better? So here is the NASDAQ, the triple Qs. This is the MNQ, which is just the NASDAQ, but in a futures form. And and here's multiple time frames. Okay, so here's the weekly. So each candle's a week. Here's the daily. Each candle's a day, right? And here's the hourly. And here's the 15-minute. What we've been experiencing lately is a lot of V-shaped recoveries. So you'll see we'll start the day off extremely weak and then recover, weak, recover. Just a lot of chop. Like they're making it really like impossible to trade. But anyways, what I want to talk about is today's price action. And what's significant, I'm not a big guy who likes to try to call tops and bottoms of markets. I like to try to find a trend and then ride the trend. But I do pay attention to a certain thing, and that is when sentiment is extremely bearish or bullish, and the market reacts opposite of what everybody is thinking and what everyone is talking about. Like you got Bloomberg talking about the sky falling. The whole entire timeline is extremely bearish, talking about it's over. And in the background, the market is catching up a bid, and not just a bid on large volume. So we talked yesterday, and we talked about the fact that I found it bullish that Bitcoin was catching a bid and it was remaining in the channel, right, that we've been in for a long time, right? We've this bid right here remains. Let me zoom in a little bit. So since we've broken out of this nice tight range, we've gotten kind of loose, but we've remained in this range. We came down, tested it one last time. This was August 5th, that giant volume red candle. We came back and tested it again on the 6th of September, and now we've been rallying, right? And we had this candle here on big volume, closed above the 9 EMA. And then today, as you can see, we had a scary open, right? All that bearish sentiment. And we came down here and it looked like we were selling off, right? Are you with me, David?
I'm still here. I'm listening.
Okay, good. Just making sure I'm on a different setup. So,
No,
so
I'm good.
anyways, and as you can see, look what's happening. We got a big old wick now on that candle, and look at the volume. So a lot of people think just because it's a red candle and red volume, that's all selling, right? But in that volume, there's buys and sells. So likely what happened this morning was due to the fear, the FUD. A lot of retail traders and small speculators got short and sold positions thinking it was over because of that debate. But look, we caught a bid, like a big, not just a regular bid. It looks like institutional sized volume. So although the candle is technically red, in my opinion, this is extremely bullish price action, because a lot of times what you'll see on days like today is the more experienced traders and the institutions and commercials. What they'll do is they'll use this extreme FUD and the selling of small speculators. They'll let them sell, and then they'll take that opportunity to buy, knowing that that the trend is likely going to be an uptrend. So, I mean, the one bullish thing that I did hear Kamala Harris say yesterday was that she's going to give out a bunch of money. I don't know if you caught that, but
I caught it.
Yeah, she talked about
$6,000, $50,000 here, 25,000 here.
yeah, right.
Santa Claus was standing up on stage giving out money.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know if you guys remember what happened during COVID, but I'm just kidding. I know you remember what happened during COVID. They gave out a bunch of money, and what happened? The rallies, the markets rallied on what was likely the most bearish sentiment, or it was actually the most bearish sentiment that I've ever experienced in my entire life, right? And that was back here in October, right? Yeah, October, right here. Like the market's bottomed right there, at the end of 2022, right?
Yeah.
That was the most bearish sentiment I think I've ever experienced. The world felt like it was coming to an end. Everybody was locked in their house. And what happens? The markets rally from the bottom. And what was happening? They were printing money and they're giving it out. We're in a situation where there's record amounts of money sidelined. They just printed during that same time, they printed something like 40% of the M2 money supply. Don't come for me. I don't know the exact number. They printed a shit ton of money. And that money made its way, unfortunately, into the richest pockets, like it tends to, right?
Yeah.
But regardless, that money exists, and it's still sidelined, meaning that there's still a lot of money that needs to make its way into the markets, right? So while they're tightening rates, and so while the interest rates are high, it makes sense for them to hold that money because that money is yielding
Yeah.
returns, right? They can lend it, they can hold it in bonds, right? They can there's all sorts of stuff that they can do with lower risk as opposed to exposing it to the risks that the market has. You don't need to expose your money to risk. It's all about risk adjusted returns for these big money cats. But when they start printing money and giving money out, it essentially forces them to go find assets to buy with that money. So I did like the fact that Kamala talked about giving out a bunch of money for the market's sake, right? Because if they're going to start, making the old money printer go burr, then that money will be forced into markets. And I think people are very interested right now, to say the least, in crypto, considering all the money printing that's been happening, and all the other all the other things that we could talk about that make crypto interesting, and that's why we're all here, right? That's why we're all here interested in crypto. So yeah, I think that the price action today is extremely bullish and could mark the bottom, because I mean, if the markets were going to sell off, you'd think that they'd be selling off pretty tough right now, but instead they
Right.
caught a bid, and they're holding this it's extremely short term uptrend, right? You can barely even call it an uptrend,
Yeah.
but I mean, we came off the bottom and we held this support, and we regained the 9 EMA. Next is the 21, and we'll see if we can keep going from here.
I think the market is, even watching the debate, because it comes down to the debate, right? So the debate happens, and, I also saw that the markets after hours were doing pretty well, Petco and stuff like that. Listen, I'm also into the traditional markets. I know I'm consistently talking about crypto and stuff like that, but after hours trading, you saw, a lot of green. The markets kind of were rallying. I bring up Petco because that's like the first thing I seen. I was like, Petco's doing really freaking well right now, and solar energy was doing well as well, which is fascinating because it was talked about last night at the debates. So, um, but I think once everybody tuned in, people right after, people went, and I don't know. I think people even after yesterday's debate believe that Trump will win. I really do believe that. The only concern that I have is that, Hotep Jesus, who came onto the show earlier this week, he said, that they're going to try to get her just close enough to the point where, and I know, Kaz, this is not your area which you love to go ahead and talk
Oh, we
about,
can chop it up. It's all good.
but this is where, like, you get somebody close enough, because she's nowhere near. Like, if you look at the real polls, like, Trump is leading. Like, he is leading. And I'm talking about like Democratic polls and Republican polls. They all have him leading by a good percent. But you get her close enough, and then, you can put the questions into people's minds about whether or not are they going to rig an election. And that's what listen, it happened in 2000, and it happened in 2020, and you know what, people have opened up their eyes and they're questioning what happened. Like, was the election really rigged? And it'll go on for years and years and decades where people will talk about 2020. I think this time around, like, get her close enough, you don't know what happens. It's just weird. It's weird like that. When people do show me polls too, I also think about the poll that was shown to me where Hillary was leading. I think it was like 70. What was it? 73% to, like, I think Trump's. Hold on. What was it? Was it 70 to Trump? Trump was at 21% to 73. Some crap like that. And Trump won. Surprised everybody. Surprised himself. But I think yesterday I think people got bullish on Trump yesterday. And maybe some people, like you mentioned, like yourself, you got bullish on the fact that, you know, Harris was talking about she's going to print as much money as possible that would
That's
enter,
that's the playbook, right? That's the
it
class.
enters the economy, and obviously, it feeds into the market. So I understand. I understand both cases, man. But
Yeah,
you got the Bobo chart up. What's up with Bobo, man? I haven't even looked at Bobo. I refuse to look at Bobo because I know where Bobo is going. But fill me
yeah.
in.
Bobo Billions.
Bobo.
Bobo Billions is programmed. I just figured it's a good chart. Everybody likes Bobo. And we're all interested in memes, and we're starting to see these types of candles coming off the bottom. So just some hope, right? That we may have found a bottom. And you're seeing these big volume candles coming off the bottoms of our favorite memes as well. I'm wondering if we're going to see the meme market lead, or if it's going to be a laggard. You know what I mean? But I just it makes me happy to see some of our favorite memes catching bids coming off the bottom here, and also catching a bid here on this daily candle. So I like to see the higher beta stuff uh, find bids, because for so long, for like 2 years, it's been mega caps and Bitcoin, right? Like everybody, it's just this flight to safety, right? Gold has been running, and it's just not as fun to trade markets where the higher beta stuff isn't finding bids. It's harder to make money, and it's just boring, right? Because as traders, our goal should always be to outperform the S&P 500, or else what are we doing? Just put your
Correct.
money in S&P 500 and go do something else, right? And the last couple of years have been annoying because the S&P 500 has been performing pretty well. So it just makes it a lot more challenging of a job. But I like to see signs that that money, that sideline money, may be coming in, and that the higher beta stuff is finally catching bids, like high volume bids. And I just figured I'd pull up Bobo because I know you and I both love Bobo.
I love Bobo. You already know. I am the bear, and the bear is me, bro. That is 100%. Like, no questions asked.
I mean, and as far as that's the thing about if the elections are rigged and all that, I mean, I don't know if they need to rig it because they got so much power with the media, dude. The mainstream media, Taylor Swift, and I don't know if you noticed, but I was disappointed in the yesterday because they didn't really address a lot of what I consider the most important stuff. Right? The stuff that RFK keeps talking about, pharma and the food. These are things that can actually be like changed.
that's
pretty
because yesterday, that's why the whole program started off with me saying it was a disservice to the American people because it was an attack. Like, they attacked him. They're bringing up the past. She's talking about let's move forward. They're bringing up the past. They're trying to get him in a "I got you" type of thing. This isn't what the American people are tuning in for. Like, they're trying to figure out, who am I voting for? Like, who is going to make this country better again? And they tuned in
I know that's
to
me. Like
WWE After Hours.
I'm not like a single like I think with the setup, the macro setup, I think markets have no choice but to rip. That's why I'm positioned the way I am, and that's why I'm so bullish crypto. It's time for the high beta stuff to go. So I honestly, as far as like people talk about being single issue voters, especially on crypto Twitter, I think, you know, I'm bullish regardless of who gets in. It just may take longer if Kamala gets in. I don't even know, because she's talking about how she's coming out here talking about she's going to print all that money. But yeah, I agree. I think it was a bit of a disservice because, and that's why I go into the mainstream media situation. They're like BlackRock, the pharmaceutical companies, the mainstream media, like they're all one and the same. And unfortunately, candidates like Kamala are bought and paid for by these people. It sucks, dude. And like, I wish it wasn't true. But it simply is. I highly suggest everybody go look at the RFK speech, because he breaks it down, and he gives like facts. You know what I mean? It's not like a matter of his opinion. He talks about the connections between all of these industries, and you know, and the statistics about, you know, child obesity, diabetes, autoimmune diseases, like all these things, and then, you know, and then how much money the pharmaceutical companies make by quote unquote treating these diseases, right? Which are all, you know, due to our lifestyle in the United States. And then if you just go look at the statistics in other countries, they're way lower. Like the instances of these diseases and the necessity for these medications are just much lower. So these are the type of like questions that I would have liked to have seen addressed or asked, and then, you know, answered by the candidates. Like, what are you going to do about these things that are, you know, fixable? And then even then, when they did try to answer the questions, I felt like both of them were just kind of like spending most of the time where they should have been answering the question, correcting each other, right? Or like arguing with each other, as opposed to giving us information on what their policies might be. So yeah, I just left the after listening to the debate, I just didn't feel good about it.
You're still on the fence.
Yeah.
So you don't know who you're voting for, or do you have some? You don't have to tell us, but do you have
I'm
some
not going to go
idea
into
who you're
who
going
I'm
to vote
voting
for?
for, but I will say that I would have definitely voted for RFK, and now RFK is, you know, is backing Trump. So you can use your imagination with that.
Appreciate you coming on. Looking forward to getting you on maybe on Friday as well, just to recap the week in the markets.
Sure.
Definitely appreciate you guys. Give Kaz a follow, man. It's a good guy, man. That does not, you know, Saucy just is horrific. Doesn't allow this man to go ahead and speak on his spaces. I'm just messing around. They make a good duo. Him and Saucy go ahead and host rooms somewhere. I think
Yeah,
at 1 p.m. I think 1 p.m.
that's my boy.
I
Yeah,
think
1
Saucy,
p.m.
at 1 p.m. You guys go ahead and
1
do
p.m.
your
Eastern
thing.
time. We do a Stonks and Bobo community space every single day, or every weekday. So if you're into Stonks or Bobo, or if you're not and you want to learn about Stonks and Bobo, two like really solid meme coins with really solid game plans, communities, and nice bottomed out charts, to be honest. I was going to show you one thing real quick, David, if you
Go
have
ahead,
a
go ahead.
second.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I'm always talking everyone's ear off about the commitment of trader reports, and how I think understanding not just about like what you're bullish on, what you're bearish on, what you think, what your opinion is, right? What you think sentiment is. That's all good and well, and I pay attention to all of it, because analyzing markets isn't just about price action. It's about understanding how price action fits in with the entire context, you know, of all the other information. And that's where the art is, right? It's not some black and white thing. Oh, I found a head and shoulders, so it's going up or it's going down. No, it's never going to be that simple. If it was, I'd be a lot more rich than I am. So, anyways, I talk about the commitment of traders reports because what they show you is where money actually is. Okay, so what you can see here is we had small speculators on this blue line, extremely long, right? Blue, right. We had the commercials somewhere in the middle, and we had large speculators, the institutions, extremely short coming into this pullback, right? And now look, see these lines, how they're, I don't have the chart set up the way I want them. You see how they've taken a 90-degree turn inward towards that middle line? Yeah. Yeah. So what we're seeing here is that the positioning is adjusting in a way where we can actually make a sustained move to the upside. That's all I want to say. So I just really encourage people to go take a look at these commitment of traders reports. This is the Bitcoin. This is the Bitcoin futures one, and it'll give you an idea of where the money is actually at. It's not a matter of opinion. This information is brought to you by the CME. It's the people who do the futures and the options contracts. So I just like to, here's a little alpha for you guys. All you got to do is type in commitment to trader reports, look up some YouTube videos on how to read them, and it'll bring a whole new element to your trading that can be helpful. So
there you go. Alpha from Kaz. Again, follow Kaz. Look him up on X. I'll go ahead and provide his link on the bottom, and you can go ahead and give him a follow. Kaz, as always, I appreciate you coming onto the show and taking some time to break down the markets.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
Guys, tune into their show. Him and Saucy, they hold good shows for Stonks and Bobo, man. And they took some other stuff. So it's pretty cool to go ahead and listen into. Welcome to the breakdown. Welcome to the breakdown. I was reading some of the comments coming in from all the platforms that we're currently linked on, and I find them hilarious. Yes, I can go ahead and ask any guest that comes on here whether or basically who they're voting for. It's interesting because it's interesting to gauge, the sentiment out there, especially after a debate like the one we saw yesterday, which was completely set up to try to annihilate Donald Trump's character. That's right. So I can ask these questions. I have the platform to do so. I encourage you to go ahead and do the same as I did. Build a platform and run your show as you see fit. And you ask the questions that you think you should be asking. I'll ask the questions that I think I want to ask because I'm interested in asking. That's really it. Give you the horn on that one. Let me see if I can get that. Let me see if I can get this person on here. This guy's like, let's see. Because I will eat him for lunch and dinner, bro. Let's see if he comes on. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. Somebody's asking me, why am I talking about politics? That in itself tells me everything I need to know about how you trade in crypto. Number one, you would know that I'm heavy into politics because I ran for office. So right then and there, you've done no research on me, okay? You claim to support me, but you've done no research. Number two, you would know that even though I am a Republican, I am the type to go ahead and call it down the middle. Number three, I love my country. I don't know what the fuck you think of your countries, but I love my country. And the unique thing here in the United States of America is the First Amendment, freedom of speech. And you know what? I'm going to use my platform to voice my concerns. And if you don't like it, you can unfollow me because I don't give a fuck if you follow me to begin with. And I've said this so many times. I didn't come on here chasing clout. I didn't come on here trying to get the most followers. Okay. And I don't come on to this show every day and look at the viewership that's on here. You guys concern yourselves with that shit. I don't. There could be one person watching, there could be 200,000 people watching. It doesn't matter to me. My ass is going to talk. I'm going to give you my personal opinions and takes. I will call them opinions. And for facts, I will lay down the facts and provide the source materials to those facts. But ain't no motherfucker going to tell me how I'm going to run a show. Not any single one of you motherfuckers. You don't like it? You don't have to participate in it. Okay? You don't have to be here. You can move on to some boring ass shit. Go find the boring ass space and talk about the same boring ass things every single day. At least for me, I understand that my voice matters. My vote matters. Everything matters in the grand scheme of things. I will never, from the stories that my grandparents told me about how all of their family members were murdered during World War II, where they were told to be silent and don't say anything, I will never be silent. I will never shut my mouth. I will only have 2 ears and 1 mouth when necessary. Until then, when I feel like I need to speak out on this platform, I will. And yesterday, there is nobody from either party that can tell me that they didn't watch a fucking train wreck. And the American people do not deserve that. I don't deserve it as an American citizen, nor do you if you are an American citizen. You do not deserve to go ahead and pay taxes, having your tax money funding illegal immigrants that have come into this country. There are people out here that are starving, American citizens that are starving out here, looking for a job, trying to figure out how they're going to pay rent next month or this month. And they're not given anything, nothing. And you want me to stay silent? Because a lot of people are silent about these issues. That's why we're in this current situation. Because a lot of people chose to be silent. A lot of people allowed for this fuckery to take place for the last 16 years, but 12 of them under the Biden, Obama administrations. You guys stood silent and allowed them to do the fuckery that they have done. You can't even talk anymore without being canceled. God forbid you state the obvious. You are now in line to be canceled. There are plenty of things that are said on the X platform that I do not agree with. But I do understand what freedom of speech means and how important it is. And I want to know what the other side is saying. I want to know the people that are fucking putting Hitler on a pedestal. Candace Owens is literally out there attacking Jews. I want to see her on the platform. I don't want her to be suspended. You guys are, that's the difference between me and you. There are people that probably agree with me on many issues, but they want to see her suspended. I don't want to see these people suspended. I want to see them, and you should be able to see them in 4K as they talk their talk, not suspend them. Because then you don't get to hear the shit that they're saying. You have to go to different platforms to get a sample of the shit that they're spewing. You'd rather be able to be on the same platform and to interact with them. That's what happens. You start suspending people, you start taking away people's right to speak. You have a situation that we had in 2020 when medical professionals who graduated from the finest universities in the United States of America being deplatformed because they had a different take on the COVID vaccines, which has been proven to be right now. But they were eliminated. They were literally, their accounts suspended on all social media platforms because they voiced their concerns. Can you imagine you suspending doctors, medical professionals that actually know what they're talking about, not allowed to speak on a microphone, not allowed to speak on a platform because they do not align with the narrative that is being pushed out there? You think I like Nick Fuentes? No, don't like him. But you know what? I want to hear what he has to say. Because he's going to say it somewhere. So I'd rather it be on a platform that I use. I want to hear him talk. Because people who actually have their own brains and that are not sheep will understand what is happening. Sheeps only follow that type of talk that is put out there into the universe. People who have their head on their shoulders can look at everything objectively and say, you know what? This guy's a clown. That's it. It's that simple. It is that simple. We're not allowed to talk anymore. Ladies and gentlemen, even though freedom of speech is technically on paper, it still exists, it really doesn't. We're not allowed to talk about a lot of things. Because if you do, you will be canceled. Period. I'm not trying to Tate it out here either. I'm not trying to do the Andrew Tate thing, like the whole Matrix situation. But it's funny that every single time Tate talks, everybody comes after him. Funny that how that happens. Everybody that has started a podcast, that has gone on video, that has talked their truth, has been attacked. Every single person. Donald Trump was everybody's hero at some point, or people at least idolized him before he decided to run for president of the United States of America. Then, only then, he became the next coming of Hitler. Prove me wrong. You can't. Elon Musk, who is a genius, okay? Who has created companies, successful ones. He was good with everybody. This man appeared in Iron Man, okay? People call Elon Musk essentially Tony Starks. So here you have somebody who's loved and appreciated, and as soon as he buys Twitter, that's it. The narrative from mainstream media was spun to state that this man is now racist, anti-Semitic, All things thrown at Elon, all because he took $44 billion and purchased Twitter to keep freedom, the freedom to speak, the freedom to speak your mind alive. So he has been viciously attacked. Then the government, the Biden administration will not acknowledge Tesla, which happens to be an American car make. An American car make. Tesla, built in the United States of America, never acknowledged by the Biden administration. Never. All because he decided to buy Twitter. And also, he doesn't have a union performing or building out the Teslas. No. You know what Elon did? Elon went and incentivized his assembly line so they can be a part of the company. The reason why none of the people that are building your Teslas on the assembly line strike is because they are incentivized by Tesla. If Tesla grows, they grow. What a phenomenal concept. What a phenomenal. I'm breaking it down to you in layman's terms. For anybody who isn't a sheep and doesn't need to rely on MSM to go ahead and get their facts, which aren't facts because it's narratives coming from the elites, you would see this in 4K and understand. And especially understand what happened yesterday during the debate, which is a complete and utter shit show, where you had 3 people going against one. Whether you like Trump or not, that's what happened yesterday. Harris said absolutely nothing. The ABC moderators, they said a whole lot of something. And they pre-planned that motherfucking attack. And you had Trump, who is a New Yorker, a dude from the East Coast. He didn't sit back. He said, fuck it, I'ma smack you too. How many times did she get fact-checked? 0. How many times did Trump get fact-checked? The entire time. The entire time. Like I said, she said, let's not name call like you do, Trump. Let's not go into name calling. She did. I brought on a special guest because this man has his own take. I don't know what debate he was watching, but Big Unk is here, and we can go ahead and break it down. I don't know what show you were watching. I don't know what debate you were literally watching. But yeah, your mic don't work. Yeah, definitely doesn't work. You sound like you look exactly like Donald Trump yesterday when his mic was muted and he wasn't allowed to speak. But hello, Akil. Excuse me. Hello, Big Unk. How are you doing today? I'm sure like you're so happy. Socialism is alive today.
How many times do I have to tell you, David? A lot of people have benefited from a lot of socialism programs. So just because might seem like socialism doesn't make it socialism. But hey, look, I think last night was a great opportunity for people to hear the distinctions between the two candidates. I think that's the most important thing. Number one. Number two, I do think, and I said this wholeheartedly in our group chat, is that out of context, what Donald Trump says sounds awful out of context. But the truth becomes, don't say stupid things so that people can then use them against you out of context. Because you know what? When you do ramble for an hour and 15 minutes, it becomes like, hey, you said all these things, and now we're just going to clip it up. David, you have been the victim of people clipping things up. So I think that is something that every candidate has been mindful of. But because of the way Donald Trump perceives himself, he doesn't think about those things. So that's number two. I
She
think there's
said
also
nothing. Akil, you're a smart guy.
I'm
She
very
said
smart.
nothing yesterday. Like, so here's CNN. I mentioned this earlier in the show. CNN, who is far left, okay, they are very liberal. They're a very liberal network, okay?
MSNBC is liberal.
No, but okay, 1 and 2, who gives a shit? CNN has always been the headquarters for Democrats. Let's call it for what it is. CNN did a phenomenal job, and I said this during the debate, the first debate when Biden was a part of it. I thought they did a good job for both candidates during that first debate where Trump obviously went at it with Biden. ABC, I don't give a fuck what party you're a part of. They did a horrific job. Just outright, you cannot just completely attack one candidate and leave the other one alone. And that's been fact checked, Akil. They did not touch her.
So what?
They did not touch her, and she said a whole lot of nothing. Akil, that's my problem. Whether
Saying
you like
nothing
Trump or not,
but saying nothing is not
was
the
said.
point here. Saying nothing is not the point.
But hold on. When asked about the borders, I'm just giving you an example. When
both
they asked her
rambled.
about the borders, she started, and I can play it for you. She
Yeah, you
started
can.
talking about that she grew up in the middle class, which had nothing to do with the borders. Akil, it was
Trump talked about
literally-
crowd sizes before he addressed the questions. I mean, I think David, it's called the spin. You know that I'm very good at the spin because I practice it
You're
quite well.
phenomenal at spinning.
Yeah. But that is an art form, right? In which has been taught. And Kamala Harris is an attorney, right? She is a lawyer. So her training is to make sure that she gets the message that she wants to the jury, right? When she's a prosecutor, when she's got to sit there, she's got to deliver the message to the jury, and the jury then decides. That is the point of how she speaks. She's speaking not to the thing that you want to hear. She's speaking to the thing that she needs you to hear. Donald Trump, on the other hand, former President Trump, has then spoken to things that he wants to hear, not things that he's trying to deliver a message. He's just doing things that he wants to hear because he wants to talk about it. There are two different distinct instances here. Donald Trump does things because he feels like he just wants to. The other one is very calculated and is very precise. And it also makes up for good clippage, right? I told you all I had a relationship with the former Congressman Elijah Cummings. And when, we sat down one day because I was doing a documentary with him, and he said, do you need sound bites or do you want presentation? And I said, I want sound bites. And he said, okay. And so in the moment, he was able to give me the sound bites, right? Those 30-second clips, those quick things that I can, turn into something else, that I can make into shorts, into reels, as basically kids would learn today. Those sound bites is what Kamala Harris was focusing on, getting sound bites, the messaging, and so that she can then deliver. You're going to see this stuff in advertisements. You saw the very deliberate faces, like like those things are all deliberate. She practiced them 100 times. I watched it. I can clearly see you practice these. She framed her face. David, these are the true things that good politicians do. And she's doing what she needs to win.
You know what she did. I could say, I want to go further on this. You know what else she did to make herself more attractive to people on the fence? Hey, you know what? I'll save that for another show to get canceled.
On
but
what fence?
I'll say it to you off air.
Because I kind of want to know, right? I'm like, I don't.
Just look at the way her face looked yesterday. It was
She
it
wore
was
makeup.
so evident who she was targeting.
Hey, this is for historical context for anybody that didn't know. One of the first debate, I believe, was what 1960, 1962. It was the John F. Kennedy debate, and it's Kennedy versus Nixon. And they go over to Nixon and say they try to put a little makeup on him to keep the sweat off his brow. He's like, "Get that stuff away from me. I'm a real man." And Kennedy's like, "Yo, lighten me up, baby." Nixon looked like a hot mess. People no longer listened to what he was saying. They only talked about his appearance. Kennedy goes on to win in a landslide. Now, his dad has something to do with it, along with some other very, very influential groups, some that wink, wink don't exist. But nonetheless, that is one of the reasons why. So someone making themselves more aesthetically pleasing is exactly the point. Donald Trump, unfortunately, doesn't matter how much makeup you apply at this point. I mean, the guy's 78, 79 years old. Makeup ain't gonna do much. So
But she's not somebody who I don't know. She doesn't have that vibe to her. Like you could try to mount something, but like she has nothing.
well, I don't know. Like
Hillary had a presence to her. Like Hillary, when she was on stage with Trump, Akil, look, you know what? I dumb it down for everybody. I keep it in layman's terms. I don't ever elevate my vocabulary on here because if I do, I'd lose the entire audience. Because half the people here haven't graduated from 3rd grade. So here's my thing, okay? And we know that I talk about that a lot. I would never elevate my vocabulary here just because nobody would understand the word argo, okay? I'd lose everybody in a split second, okay? Here's my thing. Hillary Clinton would run circles around Harris.
okay.
Hillary Clinton had a presence about her. Okay?
Okay.
She had that aura. You know what I'm talking about. That's Clinton. Like that's
Okay.
Hillary Clinton. Period. Whether you like her or not, that's Hillary.
Okay.
Trump won against Hillary.
Okay.
There is no chance in a fair fight that Harris wins against Trump.
No, there's 100% chance that he went that Kamala wins against
You
Trump.
can't even say it with a straight face.
I actually
The
can.
only way they could there's
no need to cheat. There's no need. You know what?
Stop looking at Poly Market, okay? That's a global gambling poll, okay? That first of all, the U.S.
I'm not even going to talk about
the United
polls.
States of America can't even use.
I'm not even talking about polls
So when
right now.
people refer to that, I laugh. Second, we have somebody that does not have that aura, that had a bow out first when she ran for president, okay? And for 3.5 years, whether you want to go ahead and circle jerk and talk about what a VP can do and cannot do, if she really wanted to, she could have done a lot of things. But she hasn't, okay?
So remember you're saying this, David. Remember you're saying that. Because remember saying this. When Mike Pence on January 6th, Mike Pence on January 6th said, "I cannot invalidate this election." Everyone said, "Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yes, you can."
He could have.
No, he couldn't have.
Yes, he could have.
No, constitutionally, it is not allowed.
He
It is a
could've.
no.
He
Listen to me,
did.
David. David, let me tell you very
What
clearly.
he did was
Procedurally, he cannot.
he could.
There is not. He can raise questions. There are challenges.
He
and
could have done a lot of things.
Each member is allowed to challenge because that is who is allowed to challenge during that day. But it is a procedural ceremonial vote. You cannot say, "I'm sending these back to the states." You can't do that. Matter of fact, JD Vance actually proposed an illegal measure yesterday on television where he said, we just wanted them to send us an alternate level of slates. You can't send the alternate slates. That is not permissible by constitutional law, nor through the oh goodness gracious, I'm forgetting the provision. I'll get back to it one
Go
day.
ahead, think about it. Think about it.
No,
Think
it
about
was
what
there's a
you wanna go
provision you
ahead
can't
and
do that in. Well, no, because it's that nerdiness of me. And I'm
No,
sure
no, just think about
Johnny's researching it right now. Johnny actually probably knows, but you cannot do those things. I think they challenged it in 60 states. They did not have standing. You know why? In the 60 courts, they did not have standing is because they did not have standing. That means you have to have a reason. You have to be harmed by this. And if you don't have standing, guess what? We're not taking the case. We're not going to hear the case from you. You had nothing to do with this. It did not harm you. So guess what? Those people are correct. Donald Trump wasted his time on television yesterday talking about grievances, talking about Barack Obama, talking about Joe Biden. He stopped talking to the American people, and Kamala simply just diverted action away from him. And then in that moment, Donald J. Trump has literally sealed his own fate in whatever happens next. He's either going to complain about cheating. He's going to complain about elections. He's going to complain. He did it before. He's the reason why January 6th continued for so long. He did nothing for 2 hours. Those are all things that he did. And while he was president, he didn't support Bitcoin. Didn't support Bitcoin when he was president. Oh, but he's progressed now. Okay. Kamala's progressed on guns. Is that what you want to do, David?
Kamala wants to take away your gun.
No, she does not. She literally said last night, I am a gun owner. I do not want to take it. David, you played a clip from the past, and now she's progressed. The same way that I said yesterday that Joe Biden had
She
progressed
doesn't have
on
any
LGBT
policies,
issues.
and you know that.
She has 115 policies. I gave it to you yesterday.
Came out of thin air, which half of them have come from Trump. Half of them are from Trump.
And you're hey, are you angry? Are you happy?
I'm not angry at all.
You look very angry, David.
I'm not at all. Absolutely not. I'm disappointed for the American citizens. I'm not angry at all.
Why are we disappointed?
If I'm going to be frank, I'm more passionate that the American citizens sat there waiting for this debate because, Harris, she I don't know if she wanted to debate or not. Was she prepped? Yeah. I've been honest about the debate. Was she prepped? Yes, she was prepped. But she didn't say anything. She said nothing. And ABC did a horrific job moderating the entire debate. There was no debate. It was a 3-on-1. So let's call it for what it is. And anybody can come up with policies, Big Unk. Okay. Anybody can come up with policies and say, you know what? We're gonna fix the roads. I'm gonna fix the bridges. I'm gonna plant the tree.
Remember Infrastructure Week?
Come up with all types of policies, but when we get into office, we do nothing. The thing is,
remember Infrastructure Week, and I'm gonna fix the infrastructure. Donald Trump moved no legislation to actually fix our infrastructure.
He is in office.
And guess what? She and Joe Biden, under his administration, did do something about the infrastructure.
He is in office, and if she really and he really wanted to, they can go, like Trump said, okay? And I said that way before Trump said it last night. They can go down and get them borders closed.
So why are you focused on the border? So you just brought up infrastructure, David, and then you quickly transitioned to the border. I was addressing the infrastructure conversation in which you were talking about.
You just addressed something. You didn't ask me a question.
You were talking about they didn't do the infrastructure.
Did nothing.
And I just David, we did pass the American Rescue Act.
Great.
Okay.
Where is it?
And we also have the infrastructure bill. And guess what? Matter of fact, if you actually go look, David, there are Republican Congress members. Matter of fact, Nancy Mace and what's the woman from Colorado? Lauren Burbart, the one that got felt up in the theater by her Democratic boyfriend. Which
have you never got felt up in a?
Oh, bro, I've been filthy enough theater, man. I've been nasty.
That means nothing to me. I don't care what you do.
No. I wasn't in the second seat on the aisle with all the lights on and cameras. Man,
I don't care what they do.
You go right in the back, middle.
That's their personal life.
Anyway, it's their personal life. David, get out of here. You're talking about a man who yesterday.
You ran for office.
A man who yesterday.
You said that you're getting felt up in the movie theater.
States' rights. How about a bunch of men going into a bunch of women's homes and telling them they can or cannot have an abortion? How about right now? You've got
that? Who said that?
Excuse me?
Who said that?
I said, how about men
Who said it?
telling women
Who
if
said
they
it?
can or cannot have abortions.
Who said
I'm
that?
talking about the policy that they have been.
Trump has left it to the states.
Stop.
He's left it
Roe
to
v.
the
Wade
states.
was left. Roe v. Wade left it to the states to decide. It just
He's
made it
left it to
legal.
the states.
No, see, David, that's where you're wrong. Roe v. Wade left it to the states. It said abortion is legal. States can set limits. That's what Roe v. Wade did. And most people had like a 14, 18 week, they had those types of bans. Like you can't get anything past 18 weeks or 14 weeks. Okay. But it said it was legal. Now, states such as Mississippi have made it so hard for people to, if you are in a life or death situation, to even have an abortion, your doctor can go to jail. That is what we were talking about, David. That is what bothers me the most is that I as a man, so David, let me get this out. I as a man never have to worry about somebody coming over to my house and saying, here, I need you to have a vasectomy. I need you never to procreate. No one does that. But for some reason, a bunch of men decided that their religion, because it's freedom of religion, you can choose your religion in this country. A bunch of men have named this a Christian nation, which, by the way, we didn't get the best of anybody. All right. This country was founded by like some Puritans that like they wouldn't sing in church. They wouldn't sing in church. That's how bad it was. They wouldn't even sing in church. And they got kicked out of England. They weren't the best.
This is not the no spin zone. Just keep on the topic.
This is about America, and America needs a choice. And but to be honest with you, I don't think if Kamala wins this year, if she wins this election, if and when she wins, in 4 years, the Republican Party will actually have a good nominee. Because they would have learned their lesson that you cannot get in bed with a sicko fan like Donald J. Trump and actually survive. We need to move on from this trash of the show. Just burn the house down. Donald J. Trump has been a nightmare. Stephen Miller, you are going to vote for a man who's going to put Stephen Miller, an anti-Semite, back in the White House. You're going to vote for that, David. You remember that. You're voting for a man who's going to put anti-Semites back in the White House.
I know that you're a full-fledged socialist, and you are.
I said Stephen Miller. Who's Stephen Miller? I keep saying Stephen Miller. I'm very specific. He will put an anti-Semite.
You just don't like
a Nazi, a guy that's a literal Nazi. No, I keep telling you, it's not Trump I don't like. It's everyone that Trump has around him. The Trump universe is trash.
Where did Trump touch
the Trump universe is trash. It is filled with anti-Semites, racist bigots.
Tell me where he touched you.
It is. Listen to me when I say Trump's universe is filled with anti-Semites, Stephen Miller, Stephen Bannon,
that was racist.
Anti-Semites, and racist. You keep asking me.
That was racist.
No, stop. I am pointing to David, show me your friends and I will show you who. David, what do we say?
No, you said Donald Trump is racist.
I said Donald Trump's universe. His universe is racist. No, David, rewind the books. Rewind it. Rewind what I said. I said Donald Trump's universe is full of anti-Semites, racist, and bigots. He has people around him.
The Democrats just do it.
I'm looking at you and I'm giving you receipts and names. Are you kidding me? And you give me receipts and names. Give me receipts and names like I just gave you.
The Democrats created
Give me receipts and names.
Democrats, KKK.
Give me receipts and names. I want people. KKK. I want people's names.
You know them.
No, David, I want you. You give me their names. Give me their names.
The Ku Klux Klan.
Give me the names, David.
You know the name.
Give me the names of the people. Give me the names of the people.
Speak it. You know it.
Let's go.
You
Give
know
me the names. No, I want you to tell me, David.
I know it, but
I told you. I gave you my receipts.
You said it multiple times.
I gave you my receipts. I said Stephen Miller, Steve Bannon. No. You're talking to people. People created the KKK.
No. The Democrats
party did not.
The Democrats.
The party did not create that.
Oh my God!
It was individuals. Now there were people that were members of the Democratic Party, and let's also remember. Back in 1960, when we have a mass exodus of the Southern Dixiecrats, and let's remember what the Southern Dixiecrat was. The Southern Dixiecrat was a former Democrat who had transitioned to a Republican Party.
Oh, here we
because
go.
The Democrats
Spin
no
zone,
longer
ladies and
believed
gentlemen.
in white
Let's
nationalism.
spin it.
David, that is a true statement. You can go look in the history books.
The history books say that the Democratic Party started the Ku Klux Klan.
No, it doesn't, David.
It doesn't?
It doesn't.
Because you've been on this show with
Go to
me. And you
Wikipedia.
said that multiple times, talking about clips. Don't roll your eyes, because we can get that clip and you'll be like,
there are
yeah.
people in the Democratic Party, but the party changed. The
There
same
we
way the
go.
Republican
There
Party
we
changed.
go. There we go.
There are people in the Democratic Party the same way as the Republican Party. There were former Dixiecrats, and I
Oh
keep.
my
How many times I
God.
gotta say this? It is legitimately.
Tell me one thing that
Give me
tell
one
thing
name.
that Harris said last night that made you go, oh wow. Go ahead, tell me.
The one thing that I liked,
Just one thing.
I told you. I told you before
don't
about the
even
$6,000 child care
You
credit.
don't even know.
I just said it. The one thing I like was the child care credit.
You
No.
don't even know what she
I
said.
just
last
said
night.
it. The $6,000 child care tax credit that would go on in perpetuity for
Oh
families of
my
children.
God.
It
It's
helps with
the
child
same
care
shit
costs.
Democrats say all the
And
time.
you know what? There's a
tax credit.
$25,000 first loan home buyer forgiveness. All right, so that's $25,000 towards
Which will
first home
never
time buyers,
happen.
which is
How-
amazing.
Hey, how's
And
the
then
student loan
here's what I
working
also
out?
heard. I heard a bunch of people
How's
crying
the
about
student
student
loan
loan
working
debt
out?
last night. All these people get their
How's
student
student
loans
loans
forgiven.
working
It's
out?
not fair.
How's
It's not
student loans
fair.
working out?
I'm a
Hey,
Republican. I'm crying because
student
somebody got
loans
their
working
student loan
out?
forgiven and I didn't. Yo, bro,
Akil,
let me tell you, I played
go.
football. I played
How are
football.
student
When
loans
I was playing
working out?
football, when I was on the top level of football, our uniforms were not as sweet as these uniforms.
Hey,
And every year you
how
go
are
back and go,
student-
damn, I wish I had that uniform. But
How
guess
are
what?
student
You
work-
don't cry about it because
Hey.
guess what? You paid your pittance. You did your time.
Let me ask you a question. How the student loans working out?
Actually, they worked out quite well. There's been 40
40 what?
48 million Americans that have had reduced or loans forgiven in complete totality.
Let me ask you a question. If I went to college and I paid for my loans, where's my check to pay off the loans that I
Whoa,
paid?
David, don't do that. Don't do that because
Why
you know
not?
what? No, because this is the same argument. This is the same argument. No, stop.
Why not?
Let me finish.
Well, why not?
Let me finish. Can I
Why
finich?
did I get a check?
Okay, David.
Did I go to
Where's my
school
40
like
acres and a
everybody
mule?
else?
Where's my 40 acres and a mule?
Oh, I could go back. I could go back to Egypt.
I simply said, where's
I
my
could go
40
all the
acres
way
and a
back
mule?
to Egypt.
Where's my 40 acres and a mule?
You want
I
me
didn't
to
get
go
it.
back to Egypt?
All
Or
right,
you want to have
cool.
this conversation?
Yeah,
Do
we
you
could.
want me to
David,
really
all
go
I'm
back?
saying is throughout history, it's like, okay, man, all right, we get it. You're not giving us that. Just keep it
Bro,
moving.
no.
Okay, fine.
Who are these people that you're talking about that had their student loans paid off?
There's 48 million.
After twice, not even twice, 3 times it being rejected.
48 million. David, it's a known fact. Just, you can
And
go look it up.
You know what's crazy? You're
Is
okay.
that I am
with
such a
people
smart
getting-
man that can do
You're
this.
okay with unrealized gains being taxed.
Over $100
Which is
million.
crazy.
You have to have a worth of over $100 million, David.
Stop
That
it.
is
It
not
starts-
90% of it.
it
Oh,
starts
now
at-
I gotta shut up.
Let
Now
me
shut
ask
up,
you a
Akil.
question.
You
Let me
shut
ask
up,
you a
Akil,
question.
because you know
It
facts.
starts with $100 million.
$100 million. David,
It
$100
starts
million?
with $100
How many
million.
people are gonna be in that class?
It
2,
starts with
3,
$100 million.
and they're not
then
gonna
they
come
start-
down.
You know what happens? It's like they do with taxes in terms of taxing people who get tips.
Uh-huh.
Now they're looking for people who get tipped $600 in a year to tax people. Akil, you're full of shit and you know it.
I am not, first
You're
off.
full of shit.
No, so
and
now you're going to Cash
you're
App. Now you want to talk about the
basing
Cash App thing.
You're basing everything on party, okay?
No, I'm not.
Instead of the country.
Bro,
That's the problem.
who gives a fuck about some guy who makes $100 million a year? Why would I give a
do,
fuck
because
about him?
you know what?
He didn't create my job. No, that guy with $100
That's
million
what we
does not
do.
create my job. He doesn't create my job. Doesn't create my worth.
Yes.
Does not give me
Oh my
value.
God, you're
I
a
know
what?
billionaires.
You're
I know
not.
billionaires. Matter of
You're
fact, I know billionaires that
absolutely
give
not,
to the
you
Democratic
lost it.
Party. How funny is that? I know billionaires who give to Democrats, who give to Republicans, and who give to anybody that can help out their
Ladies and
best
gentlemen,
interest.
this is the definition of socialism.
This is the one thing
This
I'm
is
going to say.
socialism.
Andrew Tate was right about this issue.
Socialism right here.
This is not socialism, David. It's saying, hold on. The guy who's worth $100 billion don't give a fuck about me, so why should I give a fuck about him?
The guy who's making $100 million is creating jobs.
He is oftentimes not creating jobs.
People.
Stop making that lie. These are capital gains from fucking other people's hard work, and they haven't done shit. It is fine.
People's hard work?
Yeah, bro. Me investing in something is not hard work. I put my money in it. I put my hard-earned money in it. I put my hard-earned money in it. But it's not hard work. I let other people do the work for me.
This is what they have in Russia.
I don't build Bitcoin. I didn't mine Bitcoin, but I own Bitcoin. Thank God. I didn't build Bitcoin. I didn't mine Bitcoin, but thank God I was able to buy Bitcoin.
What are you
I bought something that someone else created, and I'm like, cool.
Bro, people who earn money, you're saying somebody who has earned money and has created jobs.
No. You're conflating the two.
I'm not confusing
earning money and creating jobs are two different things.
You are now taking a person, right, who has $100 million net worth.
Corporations as well.
Who has literally created jobs for the American people.
No, not everyone does.
You and the fucking Democrats
I'm not a fucking Democrat.
Hold on. You want to hurt people that have literally crawled, have bet on themselves to become successful entrepreneurs. You want to tax them because they have made it after years upon years upon years of struggling to get into their positions. And the same people who have created jobs.
Where are these people at, David? David, line them up. Line them up and give me their testimonials. David, line them up and give me their testimonials. Oh, you keep saying this, but you have not produced one person that has said, I am the one that's hurt by this. Name one person. You give me one person that will say, I am the one that's harmed by this, and this is how.
In terms of?
The $100 million threshold in which she wants to do the capital gains tax on.
25% is not going to hurt somebody.
$100 million threshold. Bring me one person.
100 million.
David, all I said was bring me one person. One person.
25%.
I'm not asking. I said give me one person that can give me their testimonial.
Do you know what you're going to do?
Give me one person that can give me their testimonial.
Listen to me. You're going to take the person that makes 100 million and them and their smart CPAs, okay? They're going to figure out a way to avoid all these taxes. And that means less revenue for the United States of America. You guys do not think logically.
David, that's not a logical thinking.
We'll continue this conversation. You know why? Let's bring... No. It has nothing to do with you outsmarting me because that can never happen. What I'm saying here is I want to acknowledge 9/11.
Yeah.
Because 9/11, the United States of America, it was the worst attack that has ever happened on this soil. We lost a lot of people. I know some people growing up that were lost in those towers. They gave up their lives to rescue others. Okay? 9/11 is a day, I don't want to hear your tinfoil hat shit today. Okay? 9/11 is a day to remember the people who gave up their lives and lives that were lost. That is what today is. So a moment of silence for those who live in the United States and outside of it. I would appreciate for at least 10 seconds. God bless their families. God bless law enforcement, the firefighters. God bless them all, because
first responders.
A lot of people lost loved ones. The pain, I can't even imagine. That was a horrific day. I remember it vividly. I'm sure you do. I'm sure a lot of you guys do. We came together as a country. 9/11, for it, as small of a time period it brought this country together. There was no Republican. There was no Democrat. There was no independent. It was America first. It was all about the United States of America, and we will work together. That's what it was. That's what I'm fighting for. That's why I speak like this. That's the America I grew up in. That's the America I no longer see. But I remember my fellow New Yorkers, we came together. The entire country came together. The entire country came together. And I wish it stayed that way. I really, really wish it stayed that way. And I pray for the day that we can all sit at the same table, regardless of our views, and we can have an honest conversation that betters this country. The greatest country in the fucking world, which is the United States of America. Period. I want to thank Akil, who's aka Big Unk. This is a brother to me, so our arguments are just arguments.
Family talks. It's like family conversation at dinner. Fuck you too. Now pass the mashed potatoes.
Ultimately, we want the same thing, and that's I would say it's peace and a society where we can all grow up in and all have fruitful conversations and love one another. That's really it. Shout out to New York City, man. I was going to play an outro, but I won't. I won't do the quote of the day, but I have to respect 9/11 and the day that it is today. Spend time with your family members. Don't forget to call your parents. Don't forget to call your loved ones, man. That's, at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. Again, Big Gunk was here to join me. We'll bring him back tomorrow. I'm going to bring him back tomorrow so we can talk more about this, because this is intense. Obviously, this is intense. My name is David Gokhshtein, the founder and CEO of Gokhshtein Media. I will see you guys at 11:30 a.m. tomorrow Eastern Standard Time. We run until 1 p.m. We might go overtime. Who the hell knows? On that note, God bless America. The land that I love, stand beside her and guide her through the lights. Y'all